Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect, where in the previous episode we finished off for the most part the northeastern island, which is our death row facility. It has, in no particular order, a water and power block down the bottom here, which means it's completely separate from the main island and supplies everything that this requires. We obviously have the cells. Currently one of them is sort of complete, but I want to make some changes, and the other ones have got nothing in there, but we'll sort that out throughout this episode. We have an execution room, naturally, because we need one. We have a parole room, which is not for parole, but rather checking to see if their sentence is commuted down and then being transferred over to a lower risk category. We have a security room because, well, it's very secure, and an entranceway that is useless for various reasons. Currently it's useless because there's no one guarding it, but there you are. We also have a helipad and 2 transport ferries. We found that only having 1 transport ferry up here was just a massive bottleneck for people coming from the main island, so we did change that up. And speaking of changing up, that's what we want to do in this episode. I did ask, what do you think we should change and alter on this island, and pretty much no one agreed that we should go for a full rebuild for the most part around here. However, we will be doing some substantial changes. We are going to be moving the security room down, putting in a reception as well as a morgue and infirmary, and obviously putting a couple more things in the cells as well. So let's go ahead and sort that out after I go over to intelligence, actually in informants, and I want to see whether or not we have any snitches. You can see there's a couple of people with questionable. Actually, should we just activate this person? Why don't we activate a legendary prisoner? Because we can. Yeah, we have a couple of people in the facility that are question marks. We have a couple of traits that we don't know about, so it would be nice to find out exactly what they have and if they are obviously targeted. We do have 1 prisoner that is over in our protective custody area, and any legendary prisoner we moved over to here. Now, I know that was a point of contention and still is, that we transfer all of our, quote, legendary prisoners, even though people like this person here, Stokel and Fearless, we wouldn't class as legendary when you put them up against people like this guy here, extremely deadly, extremely quick, and instigator. So, yes, it's an arbitrary reason for moving them over here, but, we're not going to go into all the micro detail of moving the other end. There we go. So you can see this person is targeted. We did expect that. However, the other people, they're not being targeted, so the traits that we don't have to worry about. So we'll deactivate those. You can see that because they had 100% coverage, they were able to see over to this island as well. Excellent. Okay, back over to this area. As I said, what I want to do is add in an infirmary, a morgue, and also a reception, because at the moment, if we get people going into this helipad, and we can check out that in the logistical bit here, and we can see transport, we do have inbound prisoners, death row turned on, and everything else is turned off. If we have them brought in here, what happens is they get brought in, escorted to here, down here, right to the bottom, then go through the reception, and then have to go right back to the top, and yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So we need to change that up, and we're going to do that by moving the security room down, same as parole, and by, I guess, sort of necessity, the execution room. And we're going to make sure that we have a reception around here. And also get rid of this entrance, because as people rightly pointed out, because people are brought in through here, they don't get checked. This is only for prisoners who are not cuffed, so they don't even get checked. So this room is practically useless anyway. Okay, let's go over to our rooms, and we're going to get rid of all of these rooms, and, we'll have to redesignate them at some point. Over to objects, and then down to the bottom here to dismantle, and we're going to dismantle most of the things around here, which includes, sadly, also the door openers, and indeed the doors, to be fair. So let's just see how we get on that one there. Remove all of those, and also those. This radiator, actually no, that can stay, that one can actually stay, because this is going to squish down a bit, but the rest of it will be fine. That'll still be the entranceway there. So you can see we're removing all of the radiators and everything else, which will make people a little bit chilly, but it is what it is. We'll also, I think, keep that where it is. Keep that door where it is. So we actually could have probably left the metal detector, but, it doesn't really much matter. Over to our walls and doors, and demolish walls. And I want to demolish those walls, and indeed those walls there. This is where we're going to, like I say, shift everything down. This will still be big enough to have the death row in there. It shouldn't be a problem having the execution room in a smaller space. And when it comes to the infirmary and the morgue, it's going to be up here. So I'll extend across here and then up and have it about that size. So it's not going to be very large, but it will fit in quite nicely. Anyway, as you can see, they're cracking on and removing all of this. I do expect it to take a little bit longer than perhaps it otherwise would because, well, we're on an island, so the only way to get across is via these transport ferries. But because we have the ferry there, ferry over here and such, it's actually not too bad. Overall, for the design, I'm quite happy with it. We have had several bugs, which has been infuriating, and a couple of issues here and there, but for the most part functional and has worked out. Obviously, it's quite difficult having, well, island as well as the transfer stuff, and indeed starting with high-risk prisoners, moving up to legendary and then for death row. The only way we could really make it difficult is by putting on gangs, which I'm not even entertaining that. I don't think turning that on would benefit us in any way, nor be any more interesting. And also, I guess you could, if you wanted to, put on perhaps a couple of mutators, but I think this is difficult enough. Anyway, over to rooms and then to the reception, which is not a minimum size actually, so that's fine. What I'll do is have the reception probably only about that size. I don't think any larger than that is really necessary, although a 4x4 would be a little bit better. But let's work on the principle of that. So that would be reception there, followed by security room, which needs to be a 4x4, followed by this room, which it would be 5 by something, which is that. And what I'll probably do is, do I want to just remove that and I'll put the wall in there? It is possible, and that would make a 5 by 5, and that actually gives me an idea for a little bit of a feature in this corner. That would, I believe, function. Let's go ahead and start out with the reception. So over to objects and then scroll right in and we can see what it's recommending we put there. So it requires an office desk. I'll put an office desk in probably in here, and I like the idea of a metal detector there, so you come through and then you're right at the desk, although maybe the desk a little bit further back would be of some benefit like that. Followed by, what else do we need? An office desk, yes, a table and chair, and we could put that in there, followed by office desk, table and chair office. So we've got the chair office, so we could put a table in, but we'll use a table small, which will go in here. And then obviously over to walls and doors, we will have a solitary door which will go at the back there, and we'll also put the wall in as well. So we'll just run that wall across. It looks like we have a potential tunnel down the bottom, and I don't trust that one. That's fine. I think we'll leave that. In terms of the running of the facility, it's pretty much running itself now. We've got all of the patrols up and running. We've got a lot of the automation stuff going. We've got automatic door openers. We've got obviously checkpoints, metal detectors. We are running semi-regular searches, which I think we'll probably do a full shakedown tonight. We obviously have dogs looking for the stuff like tunnels and things like that. So overall, it's fairly automated. The only thing that we really get caught out on, and it is my fault, is that when people come in, I don't immediately check to see what traits those have. So, yeah, that's when we've been caught out a couple of times. Anyway, waiting for this one, I'm going to speed up to max speed there and let them crack on. In terms of our needs, we can see the prisoner needs are fairly okay. There is a high need for luxuries, and I know several people did suggest that we put in a shop, but for two reasons why we weren't going to do that. Firstly, we ruled that out from the get-go, that this wasn't supposed to be something that people had access to, luxuries. I mean, I'm more upset, actually, that stuff can be thrown in, which is something I didn't realise because of the, well, I assumed the islands, you weren't able to fling stuff in, but it can be. Let's do the full shakedown here in all sectors. 623 places there. Yeah, so that's already a bit of a problem that, stuff can be thrown in. But we didn't want the shop in here because we just didn't want luxuries to be a thing. You don't have to have it. It's not a mandatory need. It's just something that does help. And secondary, the secondary reason is that there's no money for the prisoners to buy luxuries. So even if we had a shop, they don't have any jobs, which means they can't get any money, which means they can't buy the luxuries anyway, so it makes that completely redundant. That then follows on to a couple of people suggesting we have them in laundry. No, we are not having the prisoners work anywhere, especially when laundry, you can get sheets from there. If we check out our dangers, oh look, you can get rope from there, which means they can easily climb over that wall and then that wall. The first wall, not so much because it is barbed wire, so they will take some damage, but still. Anyway, over to, still searching here, just going towards the 550 places to be searched over 623. I'll probably leave it when it gets high up. In terms of stuff that we have found, we've found, let me just pause it for a moment. 3 needles, 2 bottles of medicine, a pair of scissors, bottle of booze, 2 bottles of poison, packet of cigarettes, 3 cell phones, a lighter, a drill, and 3 syringes. Let me just check out to see where the drill has come from. I'm guessing it's just been snuck in. Yeah, it was brought in that way, so at least we found it anyway. That's fine. Over to also our where is it? Intelligence informants. We do have 3 new prisoners. One of them, which is called YouTube. They have fearless and skilled fighter, so not any traits that we really have to worry about. Looks like the reception is now in, so pretty happy with that. Let's go over to our flooring and then to concrete tiles. Flooring is now finished in there. This one is our security room, which I will probably put... The question is, do we want to have... I could change this up. I could have, instead of that door being there, the door being here, so you have to go through the security room. I actually like that idea, that you have to go through the security room. I'm going to dismantle that door and place it in here. Let's put that rusty wall in, and that rusty wall in there. Back over to flooring. Concrete tiles. This goes to concrete. Walls again. Rusty wall there. And doors. Solitary door will go in there. Solitary door there. Actually, no. Solitary door there, right in the centre. And back to walls. Put the rusty walls in. And then finish the flooring off. And that's us been going back and forth between all of these multiple times when it wasn't necessary. That's strange. They're saying they're stuck. They are stuck. That hasn't been built. Okay, you might want to get that built first because people are literally stuck inside here. That person has actually bricked themselves inside. Okay, that's the thing. Looks like the guy's coming along with a bit of flooring actually, but there's no guard able to get to them to open the door. I will open it there, and there's the door coming along, which then will give everybody access to the rest of it. And apart from this guy, I mean, that's failed 28 times. And they were going back over to get the door. Brilliant. Anyway, over to walls and doors once again. Doors, and we'll place that solitary door in there. Reception's now in, which is good. We will change that deployment over to staff only on that section there. These ones obviously need to change to death row only as well, which have now been done. And that should be about right. Let me go to rooms, and we want to change the first room after the reception to security. The second one to parole technically, although it's not really parole, it's death row appeals. And then finally execution, which I will place in here like so, and that is now fine. Let's go over to our utilities, and we can see that utilities are brought in, as you can see there. And what I'll do is place a utility there. I'm going to dismantle these utilities because I want to... Actually, no, I'll keep those. No, I will actually dismantle those because I want to run this utility up to there, to the end, and then down. And I want to put a power switch there in the corner. That's a little extra feature that I mentioned. So we can turn on or off the electric chair if need be. Over to objects then, to the visitor table. Once again, I'm going to place that in the back there. Over to security. Requires us another security desk, so again we'll place it there. Mirroring pretty much this. This obviously requires a couple of filing cabinets and also a chair or two, which we'll place... Probably place a couple of chairs in here. Like that. And that should be a security room. Also, we do need door control system, which will go in there. Actually, you know what? I like the idea of it being back there. Does mean just changing the connections just a little bit. Hot water pipe's already in there. Hot water pipe in there. And that should be fine. Radiator. Okay, radiator, radiator, radiator. And hot water pipe. Run up and then into there. I would like to dismantle all of these and redo them, but it's just too much effort for no positive benefit. That is connected up. This is bad. This is bad. Okay. The doctor. We've been getting reports of sickness from a number of prisoners. It might be worth identifying and quarantining the infected to stop them from spreading. Okay. Someone hasn't been listening to advice given, and now they're going to go out and go shopping and argue about not wearing masks, and let's not get onto that. So we have a little bit of a disease around the place, so we need to cure that. We can see that we have Alex Lacey here, who is currently in their cell being a little bit ill. Let's go for a lockdown for the next 24 hours. Not solitary, we just want to lock them down in their cell. So all I'm doing is going around the prisoners. We currently have 3 prisoners infected. It just randomly infects 3 prisoners, and then it's extremely virulent, so it will go throughout the facility extremely quickly. So you have to identify and go from there. That person there, Ryan the Philosopher Fellows, I think they are they? It does say, it says sick but treated. Okay, I don't know why that is, but either way we'll go for, once again, actions, lockdown 24 hours. And let's see. Oh, there we go. There's the, I believe, the third person. It does say 6 need treating. So, actions, lockdown 24 hours. Just as a matter of course, we're checking out the remainder of the prisoners. That's all that checked up. The advantage with, obviously, this island, the island facility, is that you can completely section off islands. So, this island here would not get sick, even if this island become, you know, if this island became, let's say, fully ill, you could just say, right, no ferry transport, job done, just shut it down. It is possible to do that. Okay, so we have identified the 3 prisoners that are ill and locked them down. I will now get a doctor to PPE up and come and treat the infected, although I've lost where the other one was. One down the bottom there. Another... was it over here? Yes. There we go. So we'll unpause that and let them crack on. It's thrown us a bit of a bone. It's not been too harsh. We've had this before when it was like food, like eat time or something, and everybody was together. And I think, if I remember rightly, it went from 3 to 20 odd in the space of a second or two because they were all crowded right round here. So, oh, that's a nice piece of gammon. And then, oh dear. Oh dear. So, yeah, that was off the menu. Anyway, we've got people going over to there for treating the prisoners. You can see a doctor is coming in here. They are getting brought out of bed, and it does say treated, so that's fine. 3 infected prisoners. This one is obviously going to be treated as well. This prisoner here needs treating, and we can see that they are getting treated. Takes a little bit of time. Oh, it does actually say treated, and there you go. Right, so that's all that's sorted. And it doesn't go on to staff as well. And that person does say treated as well. So there might be one I've missed, but that's the 3 that I can see. Okay, back over to security. We need a filing cabinet and also to connect up. Let me just dismantle that utility and those. Oh, cancel that one. Dismantle that utility. Put that utility in. And we have someone who's fighting over here. It seems that this prisoner is fighting. Oh, and this person was writing by the look of it as well. Right, let's go for a guard response. And we'll get those guards in. It's bringing up the arm guard. And yes, I know, free fight is on for Supermax. That wasn't a mistake in the last episode, by the way, and previous ones. We have just kept it on. It looks like the other guard has managed to deal with that and stop the riot. Okay, so putting the rest of this in, we've got all of those in for warmth. Just for, as a matter of course, I'm removing this radiator and putting it down to there. I just think it would look a little bit better. So dismantle utility. That's a logic circuit. Dismantle utility there. Put in the hot water pipe there. And then I'm not going to put the radiator in yet because, well, you can see we're removing it. Once it's removed, we can go... Can't even see it. Radiator. There we go. Put that in there. And job done. So the placing in the rest of this, and obviously all of the utilities, that's now connected up, which means we can go over to door servo, place 1, 2, 3's already in there, and then we'll place a 4th one there. So we've added in some more stuff to the door servo. Not that it matters, it's all fine. I will connect up these door servos in the areas that we can get them in. And oh dearie me, what's going on here? And we have... Sean Clark is currently destroying, and they have actually destroyed Guard Dog, Nanakai, and Mike. And looks like Duncan Ainsley is currently trying to escape. They have a set of keys. Well, that's something I really am trying to prevent. Looks like Clark is... Whoa, look at that. So they're getting through. They have got a set of keys. I will do a lockdown in our Supermax area that will... Why didn't that door close? See that door? That door has not closed. That door did not close. And good grief. Strong, extremely deadly, extremely quick. Completely took out that guard there. Yeah. That was quite deadly. Get some more dog handlers. Seems to be the one that we sadly go through the most. Okay, so we do need a filing cabinet for this to technically be the correct room. I'm waiting for the utilities to be placed, although it does look like they are. I'll run that in like that. That'll be connected up, that's connected up, that's already connected up. And I guess it's just a case of waiting for the rest of it. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to repair over here as well. You can see the workers are going to sort that one out. And lots of broken... Oh, was it the door servo? No, the door servo here wasn't broken. It was just... It was opened. And that's where the control is. Anyway. It looks like the door servos have been placed. So we'll go ahead and sort out the connections there. So from here we'll have 1, 2 and 3, and that should be all of those now, so that's fine. It means that, yep, we've got more people coming in and out, and the radiators are now put in. So if we check out our, where would it be, logistics and temperature, it is indeed quite warm. Okay, good. So over to objects, and then down here, and we're going to find another object to place in the cell, but I can't actually find it in the list, so I'm just going to search for it. It is a prayer mat. We want a prayer mat in here, and the reason for that is basically it'll, if they have any needs for spiritualism, then they will be able to fulfill it using that, so that's fine. Looks like that is now in execution. We obviously haven't finished that. Let me go ahead and do that. Electric chair will now be in the center. Sadly, I can't rotate it still, but it's not too much of an issue there, and we will place a row of chairs in like so. We do have the spare chairs, so that's fine, and then this will go down to there. So now we can isolate that if we have any problems with power. Not that we ever will do on this island because, well, as you can see, it's far too, I was going to say overpowered. Maybe not the technical right term, but there you are. Anyway, that's all placed in apart from a little bit of flooring, which should go there. The flooring's correct in that one, same as that one, and that is all pretty much fine now. In terms of our intake, we do have death row with now we can get another inmate if we wanted to, so I'll probably check that out in a moment, although what I also want to do is check out with our intelligence informants. Yeah, we do have people in here being informants, but they're not they're in protective custody. I'll get it right eventually. They're in solitary, but I wanted to see if they were going to be a confidential informant. They do not. Looking around through the list, can't see anyone that is currently targeted. We do have a couple of cop killers and things like that, but nothing of anything, I don't think any great issue there. Lots of cop killers, actually, but you would expect it being sort of high-risk stuff anyway. Right, so that's fine. Back over to here, then. this is now in. What I'm going to do is go over to our quick build and cloning, and we will clone this entire thing. Now, obviously, because of the placements of the lights, they won't actually put those in, so that should be fine. But that means now we can actually turn on another death row inmate, which we will be getting shortly. You can see it says one maximum security prisoner arriving shortly. Death row capacity is 1, and apparently a tunnel around there. Lots of scratching as well. That could be legitimate, that one. What we'll do is we'll probably go ahead and do a full sort of tunnel search. What I also want to do is go to programs and reschedule all programs and then edit the inevitable schedule, because parole hearing should be altered. I'm trying to find... Death row parole is actually not on. Hang on, let me try that. Let me check that out again. Also, 20 in the queue for guard taser. I'm going to set that going. Death row appeal. Stop, start. Edit. Death row appeal. It's not there. Okay. It might just be for when they want to do it. One interested in foundation education. I mean, we might as well try it. That's workshop safety induction. Guard taser, yes. We can do 2 of those, actually. Alcohol scoop, yes. Pharmacological treatment to drug addiction. Yeah, technically we've got 1, we'll run it. Parole is all fine. Death row appeal. Start. But there it is. Death row appeal, and it's been placed in the right area, and we'll pin that so it doesn't close off. Okay, fine. So we have managed to get a reception, get security, parole, all of that sort of thing. So if we check out now our deliveries, technically, delivery goes there, and we've got a reception there. So how is it set up? It's set up so that that should go to there, or that to there. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's the correct one. Okay, so what we'll do is alter the transport. No death row inmates come in here. But in this one, only death row inmates. So I'm hoping that this reception doesn't get used by anyone down the bottom. It shouldn't, because according to that, it ain't connected up. But we'll see how that one goes, won't we? Anyway, let's go for a tunnel search. All sectors. Because why not? And Matt Morgan, prisoner number 2402518, has managed to get there somehow, which is curious. They must have just... I don't know what's happened there. And oh. Ian Ward, volatile, stoker, and instigator, killed by armed guard with shotgun because basically started kicking off. And, well, Dan Wagstaff at least put the hand up. It seems to be the showerhead's the first thing to get it. I don't know if it's because the showerhead has got a low HP pool. Maybe that's why that is actually, you know, why that happens. Maybe that is the reason. I don't know. Anyway, as you can see, we're getting a lot of stuff brought in to here, to all of these cells. We are getting 2 maximum security, but we're not sadly getting... I'm just going to turn off that tunnel search. We're not actually getting any of the death row that we've put on. So let's go for intake. Death row, fill capacity. Ah, that's why it's fill capacity. Right. So 1 is available, but because we're filling to capacity, it's not going to bring them in. But we'll see who we get here. Stokel and unknown reputation on Stephen Richardson. We'll have to see about that. Let's see after eat time if we can probably do another little chat with... Oh, yeah. Another little chat with them. We do have... Oh, good grief. Now what? Yeah, it looks like that. Killed by guards for being a cop killer. Lucas LE to Death Gamer Tetzlaff, prisoner number 111073770. Weirdly, no recent misbehaviour. There. No recent misconduct. Yet, the armed guard shot him. That makes no sense. The armed guard only starts firing when there is a reason to do that. I don't think the game simulates prejudice or anything like that. Cop killer. Your prison guards may be unable to restrain themselves when subduing them. Well, there was no reason to subdue him. We've seen previously, though, where a character will misbehave, and if they're being knocked out or taken out in that way, that it doesn't actually show in recent misconduct. It's as if the game doesn't record it because it was that quick. I'm not too sure whether that was the case there, but that's probably what's happened. But anyway, do I want to turn this free fire off? I sort of do, but it fits with what we're doing over there. So anyway, I'm going to activate a informant here. You can see that we do have this prisoner here going out on the boat. There is no traits we need to worry about. And I guess that's because... Hang on, that's the thing. I noticed that prisoner was actually in this morgue. So this morgue was not used. Interestingly. It could be because it's access only. It's possible. No, that one's access only. So that is correct. I really have no idea. Anyway, over to here. That's going to death row. All this is still death row, as it should be. And that is fine. Let me go over to utilities and then to hot water pipe. We're going to run hot water along like so. And then obviously up here and then finally to the end. I'm hoping that reaches there. It should do. And even if it doesn't, quite honestly, it's not that big a deal. I mean, there's water and hot water rather going the rest of the way anyway, and radiators all over the place. So this is actually one of the best there. In terms of our programs, let me just double... No, not programs. Yeah, programs. Let me double check. Guard says Taser is now finished. Although it says some are still going to run it, so I have no idea. 6 in the queue. Foundation's 1 interested. So they're all getting ran, so that's fine. Okay, so we do need to work on the north bit here. So that is going to be... I can't use the planning tool on water. Okay, so we're going to assume we're going to run this up to there, and then maybe up to the top and then round. It doesn't need to be a big infirmary, literally 1 or 2 beds. That's pretty much all we need. So let's go over to our flooring landscaping here, and then sand, and we want to extend that out to about there. Same thing like that as well. I think all we'll do is we'll have this come along. Well, obviously we'll need to go a bit larger because we need a walkway around. So this is just for the planning for the most part at the moment. And that. And that'll be the entranceway. Like that. No. Will that work out? No. It'll have to be a little bit larger. I think. Although, do we need it like that? We need an area for a morgue, and that could be the morgue at the back. And then we just have 1, 2 beds in. That'd be fine. That's literally all we need. So we're going to go with that. We're going to go on that size there, over to landscape, then back to sand, and then we'll bring that along and then down. And actually what I'll do is, you know, try to make it a little bit less uniform, like we've done previously. And then shallow water, sort of around the place there. Not in everywhere, it's just where we think it'll look okay. And obviously it'll place this automatically as well, and there we go. And I say it looks good, I have no idea because it's in the the middle of the night and we can't see anything. And that looks fine. That looks okay. Right, so I think we will leave it there for now. I thought I was going to get all of this island done, but with the amount of time it took to get the rest of it sorted out, I think that, you know, it was time well spent. And we did slow the pace a little bit, and I deliberately did that to try and, you know, make sure that everybody coming in was checked, and we did all of that. So overall, quite happy. It seems to be running much better over here now as well, which is good. These are currently not legitimate rooms, but as soon as we put the doors on, they will be sorted. Let's go to door secure, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is mainly, for the most part anyway, the death row completed. Next episode, we'll finish it off by building this up the top there, and then we legitimately have to think about expansion and whether or not we want to do that. I've always been wanting to expand to almost certainly the left, where we have a bigger island that's got all of the amenities on it, which allow prisoners to transfer, which incidentally I haven't checked. Motivated to qualify, but none actually qualify for the transfers. Yeah, and have this as medium and low risk on the left hand side. Problem with that is it's going to cost 67 grand to get that piece there on the left, followed by a lot of work. It's not something that will be a huge problem unless we start to encounter bugs, which is why I'm very, very hesitant. I'm going to build this and we'll see how we get on. We'll most likely expand, or at least try to, but I think we'll cross that bridge and indeed cross that bit of water when we come to it. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed the video and the series thus far. Comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.